Welcome back, everyone, to Rob's Daily Classics. I found this 1982 Continental for sale in Pennsylvania. The first thing you'll notice at the photograph is definitely not a recent photo because I have tons of snow out there and nothing is that green right now. But let's go check this very interesting car out. I found this car a little while ago on Craigslist, posted just an hour ago, so I just caught it. And yeah, it's a 1982 Lincoln Continental. If anyone knows about these cars, this was now the 7th generation Continental, somewhat forgotten at the time. Kind of reminds me of where the Cadillac Seville was. People don't normally hunt these cars out, and they're normally good deals. But also, you know, you have to make sure the condition is okay because these cars are, any luxury car of that era ends up being a real problem to try to restore because it's just an old car, right? And they're not really worth that much money. But this one here looks to be very nice. It was now considered a mid-size sedan. Like I said, it was competing with the Seville at the time. But the car didn't share any other, even though it was built on the Fox platform, and, you know, that was also built with, I believe, the Mark III, the T-Bird, and the Cougar, and things like that. But it had its own unique sheet metal, so that's what was very nice about this car. This car also had that Bustle-back tailgate, which I think the execution on this is much nicer than the Seville, and, you know, those styles from the 1930s and all, which gives this car a really nice look, I think. Again, this is the first year of now the 7th generation that ran from 1982 to 1987, I believe. And yeah, really nice car. Four-wheel disc brakes was standard, the 5.0-liter V8. I believe this was the last year for the carbureted version. In 1983, I think they went with a carbureted type car. There were 3 different styles of body style. There was the base car, which is probably what we're looking at here, even though it looks very, very pretty and nicely equipped. There was the Signature Series, which was a little more money, and the Da Vinci Designer Series as well. They only produced, I just looked this one up because I was curious, they only produced 23,900 vehicles, and this car was built in May of 1982. It also shows that the weight of this car was 4,780 pounds, which is crazy. The car had an MSRP back then around $26,000, which is like almost $90,000 today. So it was a luxury car, even though it was a mid-size platform type car. And again, because of the downsize with the 74 gas crisis and the 1979 and 1980 gas crisis too, you know, everybody was going downscale a bit because, you know, these cars were hard to push on gas lines. So, but this is the 1982, really pretty. This car here is in York, Pennsylvania. He is a dealer. I like that he is showing us he's a dealer, so that's pretty cool. You know, it's funny about these local dealers in Pennsylvania. What happens? You know, you're a dealer in Pennsylvania for a very long time. People get to know you. And then somebody comes to your door and says, hey, down the block, somebody, you know, either passed away or is selling this 1982 Continental. It's been in the garage all this time. Nobody's ever used it. You got to check it out. And then sometimes these local dealers can find really nice cars, and they're permitted to make some profit, you know, and we'll talk about the price, $10,900 for a car with 87,000 miles. He says doesn't mention that the car is all original, you know, paint and all, but I'm going to say that it probably is original paint. It's a 2-tone paint work, and there's a big body stripe here. This would be an expensive car to repaint, even in the 90s and things like that. This was a lot of labor intensive to repaint this car. So one of the first questions I would ask is if this car is original paint. If it is, that really makes it a little more attractive to me. And then the second question I would ask is how's the undercarriage of the car? Because just being in Pennsylvania, even in a nice garage with a concrete floor, that concrete floor is changing temperature. You get a lot of moisture underneath the car. And sometimes you can get all that surface rust under there and where the gas lines are and the brake lines are. That's what I got with my Volvo that I'm restoring right now. I mean, it ends up being a lot of work. And if you can find something that is in nice condition, you know, it's always more fun. So you don't have to you can work on the engines and things like that, not worry about the distribution valve for your brakes being rusted out. Anyway, but this car looks really pretty. The inside of the car looks really nice. It isn't a Signature Series, and the giveaway there is that it doesn't have leather seats, so I'm thinking this is a base car. But look at that dashboard. Dashboard's really nice. The steering wheel looks to be very original, no cracks. Even the side door panels and all that don't show any wear. So I'm thinking that this car was sitting in somebody's garage for a very long time, and she's sitting on its original paint, which would be really cool to know. I don't know if that headliner looks like it's coming down here in this corner in this photograph. But those are the things you want to know about. You know, the headliner, the undercarriage, original paint. And those are the things I would ask before I would go down to look at the car, just so I'm kind of not wasting my time, so to speak. This photo here, I'm glad he gave this to us for two reasons. One, it shows the VIN, and then it shows some paint flecking here. Now, that could be a natural flaking of the factory paint. It could be somebody that painted this over, because it looks like it was a chrome strip at one time, and it's blacked out for the windshield and all that. So I'm glad he has it there. It doesn't look like he's hiding anything. The door panel here, the door jamb here shows the original plate here that comes with the car. The decal, it shows the model year, shows the date it was built. And that's all cool. I mean, that's nice to see. The trunk looks nice. Got to see what's underneath there, but again, we can tell by just getting underneath the car on a lift. The engine bay looks very original. I like that. It doesn't look like it's been armor-rolled up too much. Hoses look like they may have been hit a little bit with some armor-roll, but don't see any visible rust here, with the exception to this one photo here, which must be the wheel well area. It looks like there's some surface rust there, but nothing severe. This whole area here of the engine bay looks nice. The upper radiator support looks original. Doesn't look like there's any overspray on the car. So those are all good things. So a very handsome and stylish car. You don't see these driving around. And again, we're in this price range of $10,000, and that's what makes these cars kind of attractive, because we're not talking a boatload of money here to get into the hobby. And I'm always into those type of cars, as you know. So $10,900. So what did I do? I went on Bring a Trailer and I said, what's been on Bring a Trailer lately? And they sold this car in January of last year for $16,500. It's the same model year, 82. It's got 18,000 miles. It is a signature series. It's in California. It's got leather interior. It's really nice, but it's been repainted. The full car has been repainted. So that's a negative in my book anyway, until I look at the car. So here you have something that went for $16,500 plus 5% buyer's fee. And then you have this car here that we're looking at for $10,008 or $10,009. You know, I would think that this car on Craigslist is probably worth half the value of this car because of the low miles on this one. This car here only had 18,000 original miles. So I'm probably in an $8,000 range on this beauty. And if it is the original paint job, then I'm really interested. If it is not the original paint job, I might still be interested, but I'm going to be lower than $8,000, you know. So that's this car here. I like it a lot. I think it's a unique piece. I like unique type cars. They're not overly complicated to work on. It's a carbureted engine. It's the 5.0 liter V8 engine, I believe back then. I don't know how much horsepower, but probably about 130 horsepower and all that back then. But, you know, it's a decent looking car for the money, and that's why I like it. So hope you like it too. If you like this car, you just go on Craigslist, type in 1982 Continental in Pennsylvania, in York, Pennsylvania, and this car will come popping at you, listed 1 hour ago. He is a dealer, and sometimes, you know, the buying experience from the dealer can be just as enjoyable as buying from a private party, because a lot of times these smaller dealers are also extremely honest, and they want to make a sale, and they're entitled to make profit on you a bit, but it all depends on, you know, what this car is all about, with some phone call questions that you'd make before you go visit the car. So I like it a lot. I think I like this better than the Seville, the Cadillac Seville, because you just don't see these cars out there on the road. And yeah, go check it out, 1982 Continental. If you're not already a subscriber on Rob's Daily Classics, please subscribe. Please pass along to friends that love cars. We're almost at the 1,000 mark for subscribers. We want to get to that 1,000 mark. We can start doing some live Q&As and things like that. We can have some fun. So here we go. We're off to a good start for 2026. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you again here on Rob's Daily Classics.